Hello and welcome into Talk of the Town here on Channel 57. My name is Rich Reynolds. Full show for you as always, as we got a whole lot to talk about, a lot of different topics. We're going to start though talking with the man in uniform right over there as we bring in Alex Timms. He's from Glacier's Edge Council, the Boy Scouts of America, and welcome on in.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. You know, what's going on, I guess, scouting-wise in our area right now?
Well, scouting is having a great bit of growth in our area. Out of 275 councils in the country, we were ranked number 15 last year.
Oh, wow.
Which is something we're very proud of, and that's based on membership growth, percentage of kids that are earning advancements, going to camp, and doing all kinds of great things that scouts do.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, they're always so active, and I know a lot of kids in the area that are involved in scouting and stuff like that. Is scouting growing? Is it something that, had maybe, kind of peaked, or are we still in a growth phase for scouting?
I think we're entering a great growth stage. When we look at why kids join scouting, they don't join because of character development and citizenship training. They join because they want to go camping, build fires, and have the biggest pocket knives their mothers will let them have.
Right.
And I often tell parents we trick them into those things because no kid has ever come up to me in 30 years and asked to have his character developed, be citizenship trained, and physically fit. No, they join because they want to go camping and have those pocket knives and things. And that's an attractive thing, even in this modern area where they live on their smartphones. When they get out a chance to spend the night out in the woods and build their fires and not get yelled at for it, great things happen.
I bet, yeah, and I did want to bring that up. I mean, so many kids are on screens today. They got their smartphones, they got their iPads, they're watching television, whatever it is. Not that watching television is a bad thing. So they have all these screens in front of them all the time. How do they adjust going out into the woods and then making those fires? Are they okay? Is there screen withdrawal at all, do you see?
I think a lot of times because coverage is so good in many places, they still have access to those, and they're using Facebook and all the other social media to tell their friends about the cool things they're doing. And that prompts a discussion because scouting's not about helping little old ladies across the street. They're out in the woods doing cool things and learning important skills that help them later in life.
Now, a lot of kids might be out there and saying, you know what, I'm interested. I think, I'd like to be a part of that. I'd like to do that kind of thing. How do they sign up? How do their parents get them involved in the whole process?
The easiest way is they can go to a website called beascout.org. They enter in their zip code, and then using a Google Maps app, the local scouting groups will show up, and they can click on them, find out when they meet, where they're located, and how to join.
Now, part of scouting is exploring. So can you tell us a little bit, expound on that a little bit? What is exploring?
Exploring is a really exciting program that we have. We've been doing it for 50 years, and it's probably our best kept secret. It's a program for high school age youth, and it basically introduces them to career exploration and gives them an opportunity. It really focuses on school to career kind of programs. And we have programs with the Sheriff's Department, with hospitals, with EMS, and it gives kids an opportunity to actually work in those fields and work with people that are doing those programs. And that's a big emphasis we're going to be focusing on in 2016 and 2017.
Okay, so that's all part of it, huh? Because, again, I just think of it so much as like going camping and like you said, building fire. So now career exploration. So you mentioned like, working in EMS, working in fields like that. What other fields really can they grow into out of scouting? What does it really give a base in?
Well, in our traditional Boy Scout program, which serves boys 11 to 17, the Merit Badge program that has been in place since 1910, it gives them an opportunity to work on more than 140 merit badges in different areas where they can learn things that are just tied into civics. They can also learn things that are career oriented, where they can pick a career just about in almost any area, and there is a badge for it, and they work with a counselor who has an expertise in that. So the Merit Badge program also introduces them into potential lifetime skills, hobbies, as well as career options.
I'm sure there's someone watching right now that's saying, you know what, I'd like a scouting program in my neighborhood and on the block or in my school or whatever. How can they go about doing that?
Okay. They can contact us through our website. We have all of our email address, and our phone number is on there as well. And what it takes to start a scouting program is you need a handful of kids and a handful of adults, and we will train the adults how to work with kids. And we will make them successful and then let them take scouting to more people.
A lot of good stuff, and the other thing about the Boy Scouts too, if you join, you don't have to sell cookies. Right?
We sell popcorn, and we do a great job with that.
There we go. So it's a little bit different experience. Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will have more Talk of the Town right after this here on Channel 57. And back on Talk of the Town, and I actually invited our next guest down because I was looking for a reason to do some day drinking, and I didn't want anybody to judge me. So that's why she's here, as we bring in Jamie Duffy from Driftless Glen Distillery and Restaurant in Baraboo. And welcome on in, Jamie.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on in, and we'll get to that bottle that's sitting there in just a little bit. But could you share with us at least what is Driftless Glen Distillery and the restaurant? What is it all about? It's gorgeous, by the way. I mean, absolutely fabulous building. What's it all about? How did it come about?
So we're a craft distillery trying to keep to craft standards, meaning we use local grain. We do everything grain to glass. Nothing's outsourced. And then we just wanted to make it more of an experience than just a place that makes booze. So we made an amazing restaurant, bar, tours, event space. It's right on the river. So really, you can spend a whole day there and have a blast.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's like right on the river, a stone's throw away from the square in Baraboo. And Baraboo is such a pretty town anyways. It just all kind of fits there, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
Yeah, it's perfect how you guys did it. So you make spirits, you make booze. So what types of spirits do you make?
So we make a lot of spirits. We kind of wanted to touch every aspect of the booze industry. So we go with vodka, gin, moonshine, brandy, bourbon, and rye whiskey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Kinda
the only
run
thing
the
we're missing
gamut.
is like tequila and rum, but
Okay. And maybe you'll get to that one day. You never know. Kind of hard to make tequila with local stuff, wouldn't it be? Or-
yeah, and that's kind of our issue and why we don't do rum as well. We'd have to use molasses, so we try and keep everything very local when possible.
Very cool. Always cool when you can, drink Wisconsin basically in
Right.
a
And
bottle. So
that's the idea behind it.
love it. Yeah. So I've also heard great things about your restaurant, seen the restaurant. Can you tell me a little bit and elaborate on the menu, on the cuisine that you guys serve?
Yeah, we didn't want to be just a burger joint. So we tried to get a little finer dining, but it's still, we just still do have burgers, flatbreads, but then we try to incorporate our spirits into things like a brandy glazed salmon, using our Driftless Glen brandy. And then we don't believe in a deep fryer, so all our ingredients are fresh. So I think the food there is amazing.
Terrific. Yeah, sounds good. Now, there seems to be, and there was this, craft beer boom, and maybe that's still going on. You see a lot of like little wineries popping up and stuff like that too. Now all of a sudden it's distilleries. So you see them start popping up, everywhere, which is a great thing. I mean, it's a great time to be a drinker.
It is.
So if you, talking about distilleries, what kind of sets you apart from other distilleries that are out there?
Yeah, so I think, it's been blowing up as far as distilleries across the nation. Just in Wisconsin, we had like 10 in the past year or two open up. And I think the big difference is our whiskey production. So a lot of craft distilleries don't have the capital, so they can only put up 5 barrels a month or something like that. And with the whiskey shortage in America right now, because everyone's loving it and drinking it we're producing 8 barrels a day, which is averaging out, with some days we're not producing out of the year, averaging to about 2,000 barrels a year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So very soon we'll be having whiskey all over.
So if I'm not in Baraboo or didn't make the trip to Baraboo, where can I find your whiskey? Where can I find all of your spirits at?
So currently we are just in Wisconsin. In Madison alone, you can find us at Riley's Wines of the World, Steve Liquor, Star Liquor, and then we just started getting out into the Milwaukee area, so you'll be seeing it all over soon.
Good for you, yeah. So what's your favorite spirit out of all of them?
Definitely our double cask gin,
The
which
one
is what
that
I
you
brought you
Okay.
today.
All right, so let's
I'll
check
pour
this
you
out.
a little. Okay.
Yeah, because I think, our viewers might be confused. Like I think of gin, I think of something clear.
Yeah.
And so this all of a sudden to me looks like a bourbon. It looks like a brown liquor. So why is it, first of all, not clear?
Well, so I am a whiskey girl. I couldn't drink gin at first, and I got into drinking gin by going through barrel-aged gins. So this comes as a clear spirit to start. What we do is we put it in a new charred oak barrel and then a used bourbon barrel, simultaneously age it. So it's really just the charred oak inside the barrel that's giving it that color. But you're going to taste sort of bourbon, sort of gin. So it's very interesting. I always say to drink this, if you want to use it in a cocktail, all you got to do is replace it for any rum drink or any normal gin.
For me, something to be the perfect way to go out. And so, Cheers to you. Thanks to Driftless Glen. That is all right. Jamie, thank you so much for being on. We'll have more Talk of the Town
Thank
right
you.
after this. And welcome back to Talk of the Town as we bring in Mandy right now. And Mandy, by the way, is ready to run. Look how she's dressed and ready to go. She is here.
How we go.
Yeah, with the color run that's coming to Madison. So Mandy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And talk to us a little bit, if you could. What is the Color Run Tropicolor World Tour all about?
Mouthful.
Yeah.
So the Color Run is the largest 5K event series in the world. So this year they're bringing the Color Run Tropicolor 2016 World Tour to Madison to the Alliant Energy Center on Saturday, May 21st.
Okay.
Festivities kick off around 9 a.m. As I mentioned, it's the largest 5K event. It's in their 5th year, and they make stops all over the globe. They're actually stopping at over 40 different countries this year on the Tropicolor Tour, so we're very excited to be here in Madison.
Last week I had to go to, it was a parent-teacher conference. I pick up my kid, and his face was partially blue, and there was blue inside of his
Awesome.
ear. I'm like, what happened to you? What was going on? Color Run.
Awesome. Well, I hope he had fun.
Well, he loved it. He said it was great, and
Yeah.
he still had a little bit of residual color,
Yeah.
as well. So, what's
That's the best part.
what's new about the Color Run so far this
So
year?
what happens at the Color Run is at every kilometer, the color runners get blasted with color.
They do.
So there's 5 different color zones, and this year there's going to be a Tropicolor color zone. It's going to have an island feel to it. There's going to be island music, of course, tropical colors to be blasted with, some tropical scents, and some shade of some palm trees. And then as runners finish the race, they're going to be invited onto Rainbow Beach for the festival area, where it's again more tropical music and dancing and fun. It's a great chance to take some fun pictures because you want to show off all your color that you earned during the race. And then that's, of course, where the huge color throws happen every 15 minutes. Runners open up the colors and throw them. If you haven't seen it, it's really something to see.
So now, when you say blasted with color,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like I'm picturing like paint gun stuff, and I'm guessing that's
It's not. It's very
it, right?
safe.
Okay, all
It's
right.
very safe. It's actually colored cornstarch, and people of all ages come. So there's kids, there's dogs, there's so it's very safe.
Okay.
But it's also very fun and colorful.
Sounds like it. So now, how does the Color Run give back to the local community?
So the Color Run gives back to charities in every town that they come to, hundreds of charities. And their main goal is to draw awareness to these charities and organizations. Here in Madison, locally, they're working with 2 different charities. They're working with the Madison West Side Lacrosse Club, which
Okay.
obviously supports the sport of lacrosse and different high school teams.
We've had them on the sports news,
Great.
actually. So yeah.
And then the Sun Prairie Gymnastics team,
Okay.
in conjunction with Prairie Kids Club. It's a club that has open gym time for kids several times throughout the week.
Excellent. So kind of what you're giving back to is more like athletic type charities too. Yeah.
It can be. There's lots of difference, but here in Madison, that's what they've chosen to do. So
Okay.
we're very excited for that.
You had mentioned quickly on May 21st.
May
what
21st.
are all the details? Run down the details.
So the
for us
event
again.
happens at Alliant Energy Center. It's on Saturday, May 21st. Like I said, festivities kick off at 9 a.m. Registration is now open, so people can sign up online if they go to thecolorrun.com, choose locations, Madison. They can also follow on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Okay, so is that actually purchasing tickets then for the event?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yep.
So as far as the ticket price, what is the ticket price and what's all included with that? What's all the fun stuff?
So
included?
if they just go to the website, they'll be able to see what the ticket price is. And included with their registration, there's a standard race kit that comes out with the Tropicolor t-shirt, a cool embroidered Color Run headband that people like to wear on race day, fun temporary tattoos.
Okay, all right, fun.
Mm-hmm.
So now there are some people that take these races pretty seriously and some not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Is this for both? Is it for one or the other? Which one does it usually
It's
favor?
for everybody. That's why this is one of my favorite events that I work on. Because whether you're an Ironman athlete or you're a first-time 5Ker, it's just a fun, feel-good event that brings people together of all ages. Bring your family, bring your friends. It's just a very easy, laid-back, fun environment.
Walk it if you want to.
You
right?
absolutely. Lots of people walk it. The idea is just to get out and move.
Yeah, go
will be
ahead,
there.
take a stroll, and then wash the color off later. To worry about it then, but
Yeah.
definitely show it off after the race. So.
Right.
Hey, Mandy, it sounds great.
Great.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we will race into our next segment right here on Talk of the Town at Channel 57. And back on Talk of the Town, and one of the things that I really love about this show is that we cover so many different topics and we bounce around a lot. I never thought I'd be covering this one, and that's scuba in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, if we were in Florida, if we were in Key West, I'd say, yeah, it's a pretty natural topic to talk about. But in Madison, it seems a little bit different. We bring in Joanne Hoffman, who's with us from Madison Scuba. And Joanne, tell me, how did you become a scuba instructor?
I started actually in scuba because of my daughter, who I sent to Girl Scout camp for scuba. And she came back and said, Mom, you have to get certified so we can go together. And first time in the water, I came up and my eyes opened. And I said, this is for me.
Really?
And it
Okay.
was just kind of from there on.
Yeah, because I'm guessing, so going and doing scuba in Madison, like I'm picturing like scuba diving in Lake Monona or Lake Mendota. Is that what you do? Because I'm guessing you can't see too much if you do it that way.
If I want to dive more than once or twice a year, yeah, I have to dive around here.
Okay.
Different times of the year, the water is actually pretty clear.
Really? Okay.
All of last year, Devil's Lake was like diving in an aquarium. And the great thing about Devil's Lake is the fish, who are so used to divers, and they follow you and they look at you and they turn around and say, hey, hurry up, you're lagging behind, kind of thing. So it's just a great experience there.
I'm no scuba diver, but I know in Devil's Lake you can open your eyes like a swimming pool and see underwater, and it's just so great to
Yeah.
to go there. Absolutely. So being a scuba instructor, what do you like most about being a scuba instructor?
I like meeting the people. I like that look on their face when in their mind they said, I can't possibly breathe underwater. And they come up the first time in the pool and go, that was awesome. That's what I like the most.
I bet. So does Madison Scuba then only cater to divers, or is it for people that are trying it out for the first time as well?
We do something called a tri-scuba, which is just come to the pool, we supply all the gear, and you just give it a try. All we do is a couple of safety things, like we teach you how to get a little bit of water out of your mask, how to clear your regulator, and then we just let people play in the deep end of the pool. We do it in the Sun Prairie pool, so it's a 12-foot deep pool. It's a saltwater pool, so it's a pretty great experience.
Yeah, I bet you it would be. The only thing I know about scuba, and I've never tried it, is watching Family Ties and back in the day. And Mallory had to remember that it meant self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Things have changed since then, yeah.
Yeah, I know the acronym. How old, young can you be? I mean, can you start as a kid and learn scuba?
Absolutely. In order to be certified as a scuba diver, you have to be at least 10 years old. That's a junior open water diver. The 10 and 11-year-olds have a depth restriction. They can only go 40 feet, and they have to go with a certified adult. We just really don't want to send two 10-year-olds out by themselves.
Yeah, sure.
And then all the way up to, we've certified people in their 70s.
Wow.
As far as the tri-scubas, since it's in a pool environment and it's very controlled, we can go as low as 8, but they have to stay in the shallow end of the pool because of the pressure and little tiny ears and clearing things and just safety issues.
Absolutely. So what is Madison Scuba doing in connection with Take a Stake in Our Waters?
We feel it's really important to give back to the underwater community that we love and dive in. So for quite a few years now, we've done a cleanup dive at the Monona Terrace in connection with Take a Stake in Our Waters. So they have all sorts of people that go along shorelines, go in marshes, those kinds of things, and they clean up. We can go underwater. It's amazing what we find off the Monona Terrace.
Really? Okay. Couple of the crazier things that you found.
Probably the craziest thing we found, and that was one of the first couple years, is they started pulling up this big tarp wrapped in chains. And I was watching it because I was a shore person, and we started going, is there going to be a body in there?
Yeah, that sounds bad.
And it ended up being a landscape tarp that just kind of slid off. But last time we were there, we found a table and 6 chairs from the Monona Terrace, a wine bottle, and 2 wine glasses that were not broken at all.
Wow.
So I could have had a party.
Right, there you go. Just go ahead and set it all up. I've heard there's airplanes down there. I mean,
That's in Lake Mendota.
That's Mendota, okay.
Yeah, Monona Terrace has so many fishermen. We find a lot of fishing poles. We find a lot of lures. We find a lot of beer cans, soda cans,
Sure.
things like that, that they set on the counter and then the wind comes and just kind of tips it in.
Yeah. And there's no retrieving except
There's
if you got
no
scuba
retrieving
equipment.
it, yep.
Yeah, there you go. Very interesting stuff, Joanne. Thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome.
with us. And thank you so much for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time right here on Channel 57.